Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara. Oh, I forgot my rings. I hope you are all doing well today and that you are ready for a plan to pan update. This series, I feel like I've kind of been neglecting it this year because this is only my second update and it's already October. I think the ideal number of updates in this would be like 4 per year, and we've only got like 2 months left of the year and I'm only on the second update. Learnings for next time. My first update was in May, which that was amazing. I had so many empties in that update. I will link it here, but I only had that many empties because I waited until May to post that video, which is the wrong call. And in that video I was like, my next update, I shouldn't wait so long. I should do it within the next 3 months. Here we are 4 months later, but we're here nonetheless. So let's talk about the items in this project. This is different from my Project Pan series because I'm not rotating things in and out depending on like how I'm feeling or as I'm panning them. Once a product is finished in this, I'm not bringing something new in. So basically there is a focus on these 15 products that I want to finish by the end of 2024. Every year I like to do this series because it really helps me to focus on these products as things to finish. Whereas with my other projects, like yes, the goal is always to pan those items, but it's also to get use out of them. This one, it's specifically about moving these things out of my collection. It's almost a bit like the Graveyard Project pan in that way, that I'm reaching for like older things that I'm just looking forward to saying goodbye to. I've got lots of projects on this channel, as you can tell. I also recently got some of my wisdom teeth out, so I feel like if I'm talking a little bit strange, that's why. It is still quite uncomfortable. So I started off the year with 15 products in this Plan to Pan series, and the goal was to finish all of them by the end of 2024. As of my first update in May, I had already finished 8. So we were looking pretty good. Now, unfortunately, I do not have as many updates as that. I mean, if I did, then we would already be done. I would have 16 done. I would be completely finished. There would be no more updates. I do have some updates. I do have some empties, but there's still some products to work with, which is probably a good thing for the rest of the year, so that my next update is also, fingers crossed, equally good. So let's start with the non-makeup products in this, because I always start off with makeup. That's always my priority, but let's switch it up a little bit. First of all, let's do skincare first. So this is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA and BHA Pore Tight Toner. This is too many words for my mouth right now. But this I have had for far longer than I should have, according to this little 8-month symbol. I got this as the Sephora birthday gift 2023. So I've had it for about 14 months now. It still smells exactly the same. It applies exactly the same. The reason this is taking me so long to finish is my skin keeps like flaring up when I use anything that's not moisturizer or sunscreen. So I need to be very careful with the products that I use, and I'm still trying to figure out which products it is exactly that like causes my skin to get upset. It just seems super sensitive these days. I think this one might be okay, but I still can't use it more than like once a week. And so it's taken a long time. I think I have made progress since last time, but probably not very much. But I am going to focus more on this the next few months because I think that it is comparatively less abrasive on my skin than the other things that I have been using. So I'm going to say I will have this done by the end of 2024, but it will probably take the entire remaining 2 to 3 months to get it done. My skin has calmed down a little bit, but just last week it was like freaking out, and I think it happened right after I used my glycolic acid from The Ordinary. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do a test and see if that is causing me to break out. But I do enjoy this. I love the Watermelon Dewdrops, which was in this project earlier in the year. That obviously I finished a lot quicker, but this one has been a little bit more of a challenge. Next, we've got this Macadamia No Tangle hair oil. This started out as like more of an oil, but now it is like much thicker, and I've had this for so long that the spray thing keeps... Did you see that? It's like all over the window now. the spray thing keeps getting stuck, so I'm not actually able to press it down like that. Of course, today it worked and got everywhere, but I have had some trouble with this, so usually I play around with the nozzle a little bit and then I can get it to work, but it's just meant that it's more of a hassle using it, and so I don't reach for it as frequently. But I do like this. This is my only like leave-in conditioner now. Like I use this as my hair is drying. I have other conditioners, but they're meant to be used in the shower. So it's nice to have a product like this. Do I think I need it? No, I haven't used it very much at all. So there's still, I would say, about this much left. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it by the end of the year. This is the first one that I'm saying like, oh, might have to be carried over into next year. I do enjoy it. It's just not something I reach for every time. I am much lower maintenance with my hair care routine than any of my other routines. And then the third and final non-makeup product in this Plan to Pan series is this Body Shop hemp hand cream. So as you can see, this is one of my empties today. Last time I said that it would be done for this update, and it is. There was really not very much left. It's always hard to get like the last little remaining bits out, but I can't not force anything more out of this. No, it's not happening. I mean, this was a good hand cream. It got the job done. I don't like the smell of hemp. Anything super like earthy like that, like hemp or I can't think of the name, but you know when you go in those like really like hippie vintage type stores and they have that very specific scent. Yeah, that patchouli, that's it. Don't like patchouli, don't like hemp, anything like that. So this was kind of a gets the job done but don't enjoy it type of product. I have a few other products that are like this same hand cream shape and super useful, very good for on the go, but all of those ones I like their scent more than I do with this one. So happy to be saying goodbye to it. So those are the three non-makeup products. Let's move on to the makeup products, and I think let's start with another win with another empty here. So this was technically an empty last time, but I had not depotted the product last time. So these are the Revlon lip butters, and when I showed them in the last video, there was still like more product in there. Now there is no product remaining because I did in fact depot it into a different container, and the plan was to finish it off from that container. However, you can see there's still product in there because I simply could not bring myself to finish it. It was such an abhorrent experience. Can I use that word in that way? It was so not fun. It was so deeply unpleasant. I was like, why am I putting myself through this misery? There's so little product left. We used up all of this. Let's just call it done. So I did in fact depot those two products. However, I did not finish the depotted product, but I did want to mention that in this video in case you were curious about whether or not I went down that road. I started to go down it. Didn't get to the end of the road. Okay, some other products here. Let's talk about another win. This is the only other empty that we have today. This is the NYX lipstick in 511, and thank God this is done. This is one that I will not be depotting. Not happening. Now, this product was also in my lipstick project pan / graveyard project pan. I had a real focus on red lipsticks in that this year. And yeah, this one was just not a favorite. Great color on me. I think I was wearing this in the last Plan to Pan update, but it's super, super messy. And I am glad that it is done. I'm glad that I was able to use up the whole thing, because I remember when I started trying to pan this, I was like, I don't know, I might end up just decluttering this, and it's not something that I can pass on to someone else because I've had it for so long. So I was like, this might end up going in the garbage. I'm glad that I saw it through to the end. I'm glad that I finished it, but I am equally glad that it's done now. It's out of my collection. Okay, I actually have one more red lipstick to talk about in this update. You've probably also seen this one before. This is the NARS Lippy in Cruella. There cannot be very much left. I had two of these because I had the pink one, like when I got this as a Sephora birthday gift, it came as a duo, and the other one I finished much quicker because I liked it much more as a blush shade on myself. And I think honestly, like, this might only take one or two more sharpens and then it will be done. but it takes so long to use up because the color is so vibrant. I can't really use this as a blush, and even on my lips, it's a lot. It's not my favorite. It's a nice shade, but the formula, it just gets so messy. So I'm really looking forward to being done with this. I do enjoy wearing red lipstick. That's not the issue to me. It's just red lipstick is so messy that I find it really hard to wear. So I did just recently sharpen it, so I expect that means it will have gone down a little bit since the last time. But let's check here. Okay, so we started up here. As you can see, there has not been that much progress. Oh, thank God. Much more progress this update. Look at that. Look at that. Do we see? Can we see the progress? That is really satisfying. Because I feel like I've been using it a lot, but it's good to see the data, see the proof that you actually have been. So I will wager a guess that I'll be able to finish that within the next 2 months. So like by the end of the year. Probably not sooner than that because I do find it quite challenging to use, but I will be done that by the next update, whenever that may be. So that is going to be 2 more red lipsticks out of my collection. We gotta be down to fewer than 5 at this point. I cannot have more than 5 red lipsticks in my collection remaining. Okay. We also have a mascara, which has been repurposed as a brow gel. And this is actually something that I talked about in my Project Pan as well last week. I tried to not have very much crossover between the different projects, but this is one that is in the Project Pan. This is from Clinique, and it doesn't have very much product remaining, so I use it as a brow gel. I use a very light hand, but I did just revive this with a bit of contact solution because we are getting down to the end of it, and I like to make as much use as possible out of... that stays on really well, actually. Look at that. I like to get as much use as possible out of my products. So that was the last revival, and as soon as this is like seeming like it needs more liquid in it, then I'm going to be tossing it. So by the end of the year, this will be done, but again, not for today. This was not finished for today, unfortunately. And the final product, I just want to preface this by saying on the whole, I think this update I've done pretty well. I have a couple empties, I have progress on other products, and for the most part, I'm optimistic that most of these products will be done by the end of the year. Okay, save for this one. But with this one, I will be the first to admit that I was not good at using it. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and to be honest, this is one of those products that I entirely forgot was in this project at all. And I used to do that a lot in my Project Pan series. I would be like, whoops, forgot that I was supposed to be using that, because I have 2 different places that I store my makeup. Well, kind of 3. I have usually like my big makeup thing behind me here when I'm not filming. There's a lot of stuff, so I remove it to have a more cohesive background. And then also in this drawer behind me, a lot of my makeup lives, and also in the bathroom, I have my like daily makeup stuff. And that is the things that I like rotate in and out depending on what I want to be using. And for the most part, the items in the bathroom are what I use on the daily. If I have like a certain look that I want to do with a specific palette for like a night out or something, then I will just pull that in for the day and then I will put it back after. But for the most part, everything that I use on the daily is in the bathroom. And this was not living in the bathroom. This was living here in my room. And so in order to use it, I would have to like think after I'd done my makeup, okay, I gotta go into the bedroom and I gotta like pull out the setting spray and then I gotta spray my face with it. And obviously I forget to do that sometimes. It's like if there's a lippy I want to use, but it's here in the bedroom, most of the time I'm going to forget to take it out and bring it with me, because it's just not in the place where I'm actually doing my makeup. So that was the first issue and why I didn't use this very much. The second issue was that I actually got a new setting spray, and I forgot to mention this I did a video where I talked about the new products that I brought into my collection. I think it was just like a no-buy update on my life. It was my birthday in June, and I did get a couple of gifted makeup products, 1 eyeshadow palette and 2 lip liners. I didn't buy anything, but those were things that were gifted to me, so I showed them in a video. But I had forgotten that I also got this MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus spray through a buns trade. I can't even remember. I think it was in June, but I can't even remember what I traded for. But I have surprisingly been loving this. And setting spray used to be a thing that I would be like, okay, I have to reach for this. I have to remember to use it. But with this, it turned into a product where I was like, oh, I'm excited to spray my setting spray. You know, like that, it kind of changed the way I felt about setting spray. And for a while, I was using this every single day. I haven't used it in about a week now, but I really enjoy it. Part of it is the packaging. I find this cumbersome and bulky, partially because it is so much bigger, right? That's why it didn't go in the bathroom, because it's big. There's not a lot of space in there. And there's 2 freaking caps. Why? Maybe I should just put this away. Like, I don't need to have 2 caps. I can just have it live like this so that it's not an extra barrier to me using it. My sinuses and mouth hole is feeling really weird right now. But that was part of the reason that I did not reach for this. They also feel noticeably different. This is a setting spray, so it feels like not sticky, but like stiff on my skin, like it sets down. This like dewifies the face, and it feels pleasant, and it feels like your face is like dewy, whereas this felt like stiff. Like, think of it kind of like hairspray. You know, you can have a hairspray which feels nice and like gives your hair volume and makes it soft and silky, and then you have hairspray which makes it feel like crispy and hard. That's sort of the difference that I see between these 2 things. Now, this is cruelty-free and this is not, so I would not repurchase this. That being said, I have really enjoyed using it, and I just like that it's so much smaller, and it's a little boop, and so I have really enjoyed using this, and because of that, I have been neglecting this. So I'm gonna put this one away so that I stop reaching for it and so that I start remembering to reach for this. Maybe I'll try to make space for it in the bathroom so that I can reach for it on the daily, but I have probably used this like 3 times since the last update. It's not been good. And I'm not really optimistic that I can finish it by the end of the year, to be honest. Like, it just feels like there's so much product left. Like, it's probably at least halfway. And oh my goodness, I think that is actually it. I had predicted that for this update, this would be done. Well, let me just say, I expected that this would be done, succeeded with that. I expected that this would be done, succeeded with that. However, with this, unfortunately, did not succeed. This has lasted a lot longer than I expected that it would, but once again, I think it will be done for next update. So what we have remaining is this hair oil, this skincare product, this brow gel, and this setting spray, and this lippy. That is everything that we've got. So we've got quite a variety of products here. Okay, I think this will be done by the end of the year, as I said. I think this will be done by the end of the year. This will be done. These are the 2 that I'm like not sure about, but I will definitely be bringing them over into some kind of project in 2025 because I do want to get them out. It feels like time. So that is it for this update. There will be one final update, which will be like the very end of the year, sometime in December, maybe even January, if there's like a product or 2 that I'm so close to finishing, but I think I'll be able to finish within the month. Then I will just, you know, give myself until the very end of 2024 and give you an update in the first few weeks of 2025. Ooh, it's coming up quick. Yeah, that is it. Those are all of the products that are in my Plan to Pan series. I think I will have, as I said, these 3 done by next time, and then these 2 will be just held over into 2025. But yes, I'm expecting 3 more empties. So that is it for today's video, but let's talk about a book that I have been reading lately. So this is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I have not read this before, but I have read Sense and Sensibility, Emma, and of course Pride and Prejudice. I have been slowly working my way through Jane Austen's works. My goal is to read one of her books every 2 years. With her past 3 books of hers that I've read, I've just told myself every other year. That feels a lot more manageable than reading one a year or reading them back to back, because they are really dense and it does take a long time to get through them, like usually a month to a month and a half, and that's just a lot of dedicated reading time for myself. So this, I am finding it a little bit easier to comprehend than in the past few books, which has been nice, because yeah, sometimes I have to reread a paragraph so many times to just like partially understand what is going on. I think Jane Austen's social commentary is so good. I think she's super funny, and like her understanding of social dynamics and situations and relationships are, in a way, they're so modern. Like they're able to be adapted into very modern situations, I think, which just goes to show that like people are the same. Like their situations are different, and obviously the world has changed in the past 300 years, but people are essentially the same. So I recently read an adaptation of this, which I didn't know was an adaptation of this. I will pop the book picture here, and that was really helpful because now I understand what I'm getting into and like who the characters are and their dynamics and everything. Whereas before, like the main issue I have with Jane Austen books is I cannot make heads or tails of who is who, because there's like 4 Ms. Smiths, you know, and there's Mrs. Smith, and there's Ms. Smith, and there's Miss Smith, and then there's someone who used to be Miss Smith but is now married. You know what I mean? Like there's not enough first names used for the most part, and everyone has the same names. In this, there's 3 sisters, and their names are Anne, Mary, and Elizabeth. In Pride and Prejudice, the sisters' names are Elizabeth, Mary, and I don't think there's an Anne. But I'm like, why is she using the same names over and over again? I've also just realized that there's maybe like 10 male characters, maybe 8. 3 of them are named Charles. Were there no other names back in the day? Like, I don't understand. It just makes it so confusing as a reader. But anyways, I don't need to rant about this. I'm enjoying this so far. I'm only about 40 pages in. I am reading this right now because I'm going to a Jane Austen conference actually in a few weeks, which I'm really excited about, and going with my mom. It'll be super fun, I think. And yeah, I wanted to be prepared for that. So after this, I only have Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park to read. If you haven't read Austen, I would recommend like watching a movie first, like watch Pride and Prejudice and then try to read Pride and Prejudice so that you like understand what is happening, because it's hard. It's dense the way it's written. If you are used to reading contemporary books, it is challenging, but I think it is well worth it. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week.